So it was kind of back when I was on Ram Ranch ages ago, and I think this guy called Mohammed.XXX made the N-word collection, the original one, and I kind of inspired my humor, the sort of the Tom Pearl jokes and all that stuff. I kind of wanted to make my own take on it. So it just started off as simple as you see in SCOUT Collection 1. It's fairly simple editing, you know, it's mainly just sort of the good stuff, rather than any flashy editing, and progressively over the series it's kind of been upped. Good question. It's unsure because, to be perfectly honest, these aren't things which I plan in advance. I don't have a set schedule. I kind of just make these things when, you know, either A, I'm bored, B, like, I can't find anything else to do, or if I just have a ton of videos which I know, I can slap this together in 4 hours and make something really funny. So, when, how often and how is kind of at random, but one thing I do assure is that I prioritize quality over quantity. I'll rather spend, you know, have 3 months since per collection, and they're absolute smack bang, drop dead, you know, easily 30 Sleeve Stack Joys immediately. You know, I kind of, those kind of edits I kind of would rather do, rather than just, you know, copy-paste edits. You know, I kind of want to improve the quality of the shitposting game. It was originally in Ram Ranch, so ages ago, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's quite a big server, but I was originally an active member in like 2019, just before COVID, and I was basically one of the members. I was an active poster in Creature Swamp, which is one of the sort of worst channels at the time, but of course that's kind of how I met most of the founders, because they basically got banned and they thought, fuck it, let's make our own swamp. So they made their own server. So I was never actually the original founder of the server. I merely took ownership because the original owner, who made the original N-word collection, he basically resigned. Well, he just stopped caring, and it was basically handed to another person called Pumpkin. He, of course, he was fairly inactive, and the server got taken down because, you know, people weren't getting vetted. And then when the server got taken down, I was like, you know what, I'm going to host it. And, you know, I'm not going to ban any of the founders, I'll keep it all, you know. And what I did was I introduced better vetting, and we now have a very active server like 3 years later, so as much as it's small, it's active. I think I kind of went off on a tangent there about Swamp, but probably the original N-word collection by Mohammed. Definitely, hands down. But I mean, I can't remember exactly, but then again, it was originated all the way back from when I stumbled into Ram Ranch, because I found the song funny, so I just naturally fell into the server. So to begin with, I got most of my stuff from Swamp in Ram Ranch, but of course, when I got banned from there, because the moderators made a false accusation that I was like a pedo or something, they basically just threw that accusation at me just because they couldn't find a reason to ban me. So they just went through the old-fashioned route of, you know, I'll just label him as a pedo and then we can just ban him without any proof. So essentially I got banned from there, so that was my stream with content cut off. I think over time I've kind of just been jumping through Swamp, my own server, well, mainly Swamp, and various other NSFW channels, various other outlets, which of course I've eventually been banned from. Meme Castle went in there, got banned for a stupid reason. Wetzel Nation went in there. Some of the mods and stuff had like conflict and shit, because they were like, do we really want to be having this guy who is known for making really edgy stuff in our server? So yeah, I kind of just sit in the Swamp, and that's kind of where my main source of content comes from, because I've basically assembled all the people which essentially posted it in one place, so I can literally just keep making collections from the swamp. Have you seen SCOUT.XXX in Big City? Alright, I'm gonna post it in degenerate chat. Hold on, give me a second. Someone already did. Basically, I saw that picture get posted once in RRCF, and I was all like, man, this is the most funny and because I do actually like TF2, right? I play TF2 often. Ironically, I don't actually main Scout. I main Engineer and Soldier. Those are the two I main. Oh my god, blasphemy! No way, no way! But yeah, I just thought the image was so cursed, but it was also so funny and, in a way, enlightening. Because the image just stares into your soul. It's kind of like, it's this rare to find an image like that, so I thought, fuck it, that's gonna be my new alias. Not very many. I think whenever I've had adversaries, I only really have 2 adversaries, namely recently, and one of them being Buster. Now, if you don't know who this guy is, and if you have, he's probably known as the most unfunny person you'll probably ever meet. He basically, like, I think he's deliberately trying to copy my collections, and he just basically covers the bits which, because of course he has like normies and stuff in his servers, and he like covers bits with his watermark which he finds gross, or he goes, you know, which I will never do. And basically he's trying to, yeah, sure. Oh, that's fine. Did you get that last bit? Yeah, so essentially, I think he was in Swamp for a while. He got banned twice, but essentially he thinks it annoys me. But to be honest with you, I mean, if people want to make their own spin-offs of my stuff, fine. But I know that it will just naturally not be as funny. I don't even need to bitch and moan about it. People just won't find it as funny. And I mean, if he wants to keep doing that, then sure. I've also ran into other controversies, like, I think there was this guy called Monero who also, like, teamed up with Buster, and basically, what they're trying to do is basically I banned Monero because he went and posted furry diaper porn in general, because we don't allow furries at all. Like, I have absolutely zero tolerance for the disgusting freaks. Basically just ban on site. So essentially he went and posted that with no punchline, no joke. He didn't put it in bait content, which is the channel we use for, you know, all that stuff. Oh, and not to mention as well, that's why I no longer have ties with Flusaka. I don't know if you know who that guy is, but he's another sort of high profile shitposter. Yeah, he basically said, oh yeah, I'm a furry. And I was all like, alright, well, auf Wiedersehen, you may be good, but I'm not associating with furries. No way. And essentially, I reckon, because he was so pissed off, and Buster was also pissed off that I got rid of him, they're basically, I think they made like a Scout collection where it's just a furrycon footage, and basically they're claiming that they're putting my tag over it and shit, saying that it was like me, but to be honest, it's probably the biggest projection and cope I've seen on this platform to date, so... but I mean, I've got through into countless controversies, but not because, you know, I've done anything, it's because other people have issues with the stuff I do, essentially, which, you know, happens, but who cares? It's just people on the internet. I don't care. A few months ago in lockdown, when I was at worse health, so to say, I was harbouring some of those thoughts, but as of course I started shifting into reality, I think those beliefs came less and less prevalent, and it kind of just been a thing, you know, just a joke, say, haha, yeah, funny, you know. I know I don't, you know, ban people for that stuff. I don't, you know, get annoyed. You can believe what you want, but I mean, you know, essentially, my group, rather than being some sort of cringy femboy neo-Nazi group, we're mainly just a band of trolls which go around and want to get reactions out of people. That's essentially what we do. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's more or less to be honest with you, I don't do any of the trolling myself. I haven't done trolling properly for at least a good half a year, because it's just so much effort to make accounts now, because Discord you need to get phone numbers, and I actually had to start paying for that. But then even when the paid numbers stopped working, I was all like, screw this. But I mean, I don't really know if any of my stuff has been donated to streamers or anything, but I mean, that question I don't really know, so I'll have to skip that. Not very much, to be honest. I think it's basically the same humor set, but the editing just gets better and better, and I put more and more hours into it. Essentially, I don't think I've really changed. It's still kind of just shock stuff sped up. That's literally it. I mean, there's not really much else to it. Yeah, no, it's that simple, isn't it? Doesn't need to be anything complex or, Reddit are funny type shit, it's like, it should just be simple. Not at all. You know why? Because I honor a thing called anonymity. In all the times I've ever been on webcam, my face has been completely covered. I have a separate, I basically keep everything that's on this alias, everything that's on, I have a good knowledge of how to keep myself hidden. So it's not really, it doesn't really affect my day-to-day life at all. I mean, I've not been dumb enough to leak information about myself. Like, funny enough, I've encountered countless people and stuff which will happily go out their way to dox people, but then the moment, their high school is free iPad, they basically bitch moan about it and, make a big thing about it. Which is why, funnily enough, one of my moderators, one of my higher sort of mods, he called 3iper, he basically went, because he is a proper troll. I have to give him credit. He goes out his way to, piss people off and leak info. It's all well and good, finding that stuff funny, but when it happens to you, what really pissed me off was the fact that he put on a worse reaction than literal spurgs that he went ahead and leaked their address to, and it was and he only had his high school revealed, and he only had that revealed because, number one, he went ahead and actually cried about it, which is because if somebody gets your IP, right, they only get your approximate location. So if you, let's say, got my IP, for instance, you would only see my region. You would not be able to find my house. And essentially, what the people who went and targeted 3iper did, as revenge for all the, things which he did, they basically went up to him and said, they found a school that was in his area, and they said, oh, is this your high school? And he absolutely freaked the hell out, which revealed it. If he didn't freak out, then he would not have been in the position that he was in now, and this would probably be forgotten about. But he's a kid, he's younger than me, he was only 15, so, I mean, when I was 15 I was even worse, so, yeah. Just my advice to everyone, just be careful with your information. Don't dox yourself, don't be stupid. Because half the time when people get doxed, it's literally because of their own stupidity. And that goes the same as with everything in cybersecurity, so that goes for, even companies fall for it. With phishing attacks, the majority of cyber attacks are literally done through manipulation. They're not done through, crazy, sort of, when you see people in, the back ends and they're going, I'm hacking in now. They're not doing that shit. It's mainly manipulation. And I think if you're easily manipulated, it can usually lead to those things happening. It's definitely been an interest, yeah. Oh, Whitebeard's asking a question. Do you plan on doing anything unusual for Scout Collection 10? Firstly, I haven't even made 9 yet. I don't know what kind of question that is. Um, but I don't really know, because I kind of just do it on the spot.